Let's get ready to hit the battlefield.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather round, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Box, let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk. Body walk, body walk, everything, body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
All right. Hey, guess what? Good night and welcome to Straight Up. We're going to rock and roll just for an hour. That is, and we're out of here because I got to get my beauty rest. back up early o'clock in the morning to sit in with Dr. David Hines on behalf of Khadaki. That's if they do not release Khadaki by midnight tonight. They do that. I recall on 2 occasions they released me at midnight. One occasion I refused to go, and I called Nigel Hughes. Nigel Hughes came to get me at midnight. $20,000 bail, Guyana dollars bail, that is. Oh, we have this here, the passport, U.S. Citizenship, and congrats to a couple of you folks, some of you who might be listening, got your citizenship last week and this week today. And so congratulations to those folks. This is an elections year, mind you, and they're giving out interviews as quickly as possible. It's up to you to decide whether you want to do it or not. Feel free to give me a call, not during the program, but after the program, and get your citizenship application in as quickly as possible. Hi, good night. My name is Mark Benchap, and welcome to Straight Up. This is another night in Khadaki Amsterdam is spending it in the cold, inhumane lockups, the police lockups, as a political prisoner. Just got off watching David Hines for a few minutes and his guest, Apostle London and Dion Abrams and Takuma Agunzi. They're all members of the WPA except Apostle London, who's celebrating his birth anniversary today. Happy birthday to Apostle London. And for those of you who are celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you as well. Somebody's saying that no sound. I don't know what, if there's no sound, Beverly and Romaine, obviously she can't hear me, but can you guys hear me loud and clear? Sometimes when there's no sound and you are the only one who's saying no sound, understand that there's something that's wrong with maybe your system that you're using. All the Buxtonians, if you're in the house, just let me see. Loud and clear, Bilal Muhammad. I like to say Bilal Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum, and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillah. With all that's happening in Guyana, John C. Paul, thank you so much. Okay, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. Yes, loud and clear. You don't want to be charged with cybercrime with this loud and clear. You guys are harassing me loud and clear. Good night to all of you, because hey, guess what? Cybercrime is the going thing right now for the corrupt PPP regime. They spoke so much against the cybercrime bill. They spoke about sedition that was included in the cybercrime bill of 2018, which was passed under the coalition government. Many people were against it. Some were very outspoken about it, of course, yours truly. But some of you who might be in the audience were cussing us about this cybercrime bill. Well, y'all don't shut y'all mouth. Let the bill be as it is, and all manner of things. But hey, during the coalition, though, even before the passage of the cybercrime bill, I have never seen so many calls for assassination of a president. Never before. Well, as a youngster, I grew up under PNC Burnham. And so I didn't know much in terms of what the WPA was attempting to do. Well, they said that they weren't. Some said that they were, but I don't know. This is not about discussing that. But the point that I'm making, I have never, as we say in Guyana, in my born life, saw so many talks of assassinating and killing a president. Never before. Never in Guyana. But David Granger had a lot of those threats, lots and lots of threats. Hence the reason for the cybercrime bill. Now, I don't agree with some things in the cybercrime bill, but every society, you have to have law and order. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But what the hypocritical, the comical PPP did, they argued against the cyber sedition part, and that was amended, mind you, to the coalition's credit. They amended that part. Now, during that time in 2018 and so, the PPP argued brazenly that, hey, sedition is outdated and they have never charged anyone with sedition and all manner of things. Lie. But what could we expect from the PPP regime? Ms. Booker, Mary Hamilton, Civic, Neville Sital, Victor Ben, Tyrone Peters. What can we expect, Gladys Prasad, from the PPP? They have to lie. Without lying, they cannot exist. Lying and corruption and racism, you name it, those are the hallmarks of the PPP regime. They cannot exist without that. But look, a lady, an old man, a prisoner, and all these people, even allegations of some members, serving members of the Guyana police force who were allegations, mind you, allegations were part of a plot to assassinate President David Otter Granger. Of course, they denied it. And you didn't expect them to come forward and say, well, hey, it is true. Of course, they're going to deny it. And they did. They denied it. They said, no, not true at all. Not true at all. And this is it. Back in 2017, police force denies senior ranks planning to assassinate President Granger. Senior ranks. The allegations that senior ranks were planning to assassinate. And then you had a guy said to be a business guy. This is what Gibrod, I believe his name is. And he came out publicly and he said on Travis Chase's interview that, look, he was offered, allegedly, he's claiming that he was offered $7 million to assassinate President David Otter Granger. $7 million. And then there was this woman, she was acquitted in the, she didn't go to jail for long or whatever, Bibi Safura Salim. And she said on her Facebook page, and it was argued by her lawyer, Glenn Hanuman, but no, this lady's not computer literate and all manner of things. And the magistrate said, even after what appeared on her Facebook page, that Granger, quote unquote, that Granger needs a bullet to his head or something to that effect. But the magistrate said that no, that doesn't constitute any form of incitement or whatever. And so the matter was dismissed. She was charged under the Racial Hostility Act. It was dismissed and she went home free. The point that I'm making, all these attempts, all these talks about assassinations, not necessarily attempt, but talks about assassination of David Granger as president. It didn't stop there, guys. Look at this guy, 65 years old, Motilal Balkaram. Elderly man charged with threatening the life of President Granger. All of these things happened under the coalition government. But at no time did any one of these guys were charged with sedition. They were not charged with treason or nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. And so this was rampant. They were like running like wildfire, irresponsible, and all these things. Nothing compared to what the PPP is claiming that people in the opposition doing. No. These guys were brazen in their attacks. Of course, allegations, and it went to court. They were acquitted and all manner of things, but they weren't charged with treason, sedition, and things like that. But let's get to this guy. This guy was a prisoner at the time. And so according to information, mind you, because in the prison, they're allowed a phone call. So you walk out to the front area and you get to use the phone for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And if you're nice to the prison guard or the warder, you can get an extra minute or two. And your feeling probably give a little whatever. I'm not snitching on any. I'm not supposed to do that. But these things happen. But this guy made a phone call, Alim Ali from prison. He called and he said that there's a bomb and set to bomb up David Granger, who was president at the time. I am walking you guys through the process and what they did to the coalition and David Granger as president of the country. And none of these guys, absolutely none. Sorry, I sound like Donald Trump. None of them were ever charged with sedition or treason. And this guy, look, he cried in the courtroom. I'm sorry. And he apologized to the court. He pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to threatening language, so 1 month, and the other in terms of calling in a bomb. he was sentenced to about 4 or 5 or maybe 6 months in prison. And that's it. So lots and lots. And hey, guys, we can go on and on and on just to show you guys how hypocritical the PPP regime is. Let me take you guys to another situation. Many of you remember this, right? I'll let it blow, 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 right?
We gonna have a grand time, all night tonight, all night to all of the blow, blow, blow. Blow, blow, got blow by. Must condom and want come out, don't fucking come out now.
Few moments later.
We gonna have a grand time in the lockup, Let it blow, blow, blow. They got blow bys, blow, blow now in the lockups.
And let it blow, blow, blow. Can you imagine that happening under the PPP with all those guns? Did you guys see those guns? Speaking of guns, I hope the GDF can answer. We'll get back to those guns, but I hope the GDF can answer up to allegations that maybe 1 or 2 rifles are missing. However accurate that is, the Guyana Defense Force, they need to answer up. They need to say whether that is true or not, and that 5 or 6 members of the Guyana Guyana Defense Force are currently under close arrest. They got to respond to that, whether it is accurate or not. I'm not saying that it's accurate. I'm saying that there is a little whispering about that, and maybe the Guyana Defense Force Chief of Staff or Chief of Defense or whatever the heck he's being described as. Oh, I got to stop whatever the heck. That might be a cyber crime. You can't say whatever the heck position he is. We've got to be careful because these guys are soft. They're very, very soft, right? Remember when it was who it is that Shadow Minister of Housing, Annette Ferguson, mentioned something about death squad and so forth. And the Chief of Staff was so sad about the whole situation that Annette Ferguson hurt his feelings. And so they rushed over to charge Annette Ferguson with the cybercrime law. They charged her. All because of saying something about killing squad, and the Chief of Staff of the Army didn't like that. The Chief of Defense, Omar Khan, didn't like that killing squad post that Annette Ferguson made, and so they charged her. Cybercrime. Can you believe it? Of course. Cybercrime. But look at all those other people. There was one little guy shouting out that poison out all persons, person of African descent, poison them out and all manner of things. He was never charged. There was no cybercrime. Then there was another lady, and then there was but these crimes seem to be only set aside for either persons of African descent. We already know that. It goes without saying. That is why Khadaki Amsterdam is in his cell right now. This is the 2nd night. He's going on the 3rd night. Hoping that they will release him. But we'll talk a little more about Khadaki Amsterdam shortly. But remember this lady? Let me see how many of you guys know this lady here from Denham still. All decked out in her lovely African attire. Let's not waste any time. Of course, is Rhonda Lane. Rhonda Lane allegedly posted something on her Facebook page. She was charged with cybercrime. There was no evidence linking Rhonda to whatever they allege she did. Nothing whatsoever. The police witness said that the phone was open and anybody had access to the phone in the house. Anyone. But just like the magistrate dismissed BB dismissed this lady's matter, and Rhonda Lane wasn't anywhere close to what this woman allegedly posted on her page. Allegedly about some Bulletin David Granger, HEAD, and these things. Allegedly, mind you, but her matter was dismissed. Rhonda Lane wasn't anywhere close to putting on her Facebook page, allegedly, anything abusing out some policewoman. They charged her. She was convicted. She was a political prisoner. She's being targeted targeted because of her political affiliation. And you know what? Rhonda Lane had to pay $500,000. She's probably still paying it. She probably still paying it from she little piggy bank, she little money she making and things like that. And in order to survive, she's doing that. Rhonda Lane, but she didn't give up. Rhonda Lane is still out there because, you know, sometimes some people get a little charge and then they gone right back into the nest and they gone hiding and all these sort of things. Not Rhonda. Rhonda Lane is out there, and that's why we have to salute and support Rhonda Lane. But let's move on, guys. If you're now joining, good night. Khadaki Amsterdam is still in the prison, still in the lockups. And let's go back to the cybercrime again. This guy, it seems as though when you expose the corrupt PPP regime and their friends and their cronies, they rush to the DPP and all manner of things so that they can charge you. This guy, Dion Bascom, a member of the Guyana Defense Force, we hear Bascom goes on trial on November 9th for cybercrime offenses. Cybercrime, and you recall what he said and revealed the allegations that there were corruption in the Guyana police force as a result of the investigation with Mohammed, Azruddin Mohammed and so forth. Allegations that Azruddin Mohammed is linked along with one of his security guys, that they were linked to the murder of Paper Short. Allegations, mind you. And so this guy, this police sergeant, was talking about corruption in the Guyana police force. And they rushed as quickly as possible to charge him. For what? Again, cybercrime. Cybercrime. Police farce. Cybercrime. Cybercrime. Marlon Lorima, let's focus here. Let's not focus on any clown who has we don't promote people's platform here at all. We don't promote IDIOTS at all on this platform. Let the crappos do what they got to do without giving them any sort of mileage or any sort of notice here at all. We just don't play. Lorima, Marlon, just don't do that. Don't do that. Is it Marlon who did it? Yeah, we don't listen to those crappos. And so let's continue now with the cybercrime law. Cybercrime, right? Yeah. So how many of you guys know this guy? Anything you say on social media, people bumps raise. They get ticklish. All manner of things, the bumps raise. Look at this guy. His name is Ramaya, Dr. Ramaya, a former member of the coalition, a former member of the AFC. Ramaya said something about a pandit. He said that the pandit, whoever it is, this is according to what the charges will remind you, right? Over a pandit. He says some pandit on the quarantine, that this pandit, he called the pandit Gilbaka. So I don't know, since when you calling somebody Gilbaka, they used to call me Basha, because as a little child run around, they used to call me Double Belly Basha. I should probably have all of those people charged with cybercrime. Why are you calling me Basha? Because I had double belly at that time. And so this guy, Versami Ramaya, Dr. Ramaya, former REO of Region 6, allegedly, according to the charge, a cybercrime charge, he called this pandit. He called a pandit Gilbaka. That Gilbaka. I don't know, is it a crime to call somebody Gilbaka? Look at all the names Jagde calls people. Look at all the names that Bordness, that Paku, who calls himself a journalist. Look at all the names they call people. Look at all the names Jagde called Ramjatan. He called Moses Nagamutu. He called him Nimakaram. He called him all manner of this, all manner of that, Katahar, all manner of things. Nobody ever went after the charge, that lunatic Barajagdeo. But look, poor Ramaya called some pandit Gilbaka. And he said that the pandit was using cow's milk, alleging that the pandit was using cow's milk to wash his foot. And that is why on the quarantine, there was shortage of milk at number 52 village. So so whoever this pandit is, the allegations are level and the charges brought against Ramaya that he called the pandit Gilbaka. Gilbaka. So you can't call nobody Gilbaka. You can't call, for example, you can't call nobody Gilbaka. Say, for example, if I call, who is it? Let me call one of y'all a name. If I call, let me see who is not, who Bum Singer is. If I call Beatrice or Carl Miller or Shoy Gibson or anybody, if I call Melissa Monroe Hassa, is that a crime? That is cybercrime? Hassa? Gilbaka? Oui. Look at what they did. Look at what they did to Patterson. All sorts of names they call him. If we're supposed to call David Patterson, former minister, oui, that's a crime? Or jiggling? Is that a crime? Look what Jack J and others in the PPP did to Ramjatan. They call it all sorts of things. Look this way, look that way, can't see the side. All kind of things they call Kakai. They call Ramjatan. Nobody charge these people. Nobody go after them for cybercrime. Nobody. But these PPP guys, like, they're soft. Oh, you hurt my feeling. Don't call me Jagat. Don't trend up. Oh. They hurt. They hurt. Look at all the names they call everybody. Everybody they call names. They call me all the names in the book. Me care. You think I care? Hassa. Huri. They call me that. But names are names. But suddenly it becomes a crime in Guyana. These guys, their bumps raise and they feel hurt. They're hurt. Rastaman, right here watching, we give Rastaman a name tonight, Tennis Roll. So if you call Rastaman Tennis Roll, Rastaman gonna get hurt. He's gonna feel hurt. How dare you call me Tennis Roll? Yep, they call him Dr. David Hines Black Pudding Man. Black Pudding Man. All manner of things. It is only, look at that trash of an individual who claims that he's a journalist. Y'all know the zoo guy. All sort of names, all sort of things on their program. But it is acceptable because the state is there to defend those vagabonds, those pakus, those nimakarams, those katahars, those terekabur, nanika todor kalandeke. And the last word I really don't want to say because it's something else, right? Good. If you know what the last word is, terekabur, nanika todor kalandeke, you could put it in a group there in the audience. It's okay. All right. So you can't say anything against these people. So now let's go to the other cybercrime. Because mind you, as we talk about cybercrime, let's remember what the PPP has done and they're doing to Khadaki Amsterdam, who is sitting in some lockups because they're moving him around. They put him on shackles. They put probably stuff around his mouth, they muzzle him, they put him in handcuffs, they probably tied him up, and all manner of things. And when you go in there, you got to take off your belt, you take off your socks, your shoelace, because they don't want you to hang yourself or nothing. But with all of this being said, we've got to be careful because the PPP is notorious when it comes to people just dying. Under the PPP regime, people die under questionable circumstances. And we've got to ensure that we monitor Khadaki Amsterdam, because the PPP, under the PPP, a lot of people disappeared. A lot of people died at the Georgetown Public Hospital under questionable circumstances. Quite a few folks died while in the lockups under questionable circumstances. And we've got to ensure that this doesn't happen to Khadaki Amsterdam. Dr. David Hines said that they met with him, or they got word that all is well. He met with his son today, and he passed on a message to Dr. David Hines. Dr. Hines, he told Dr. Hines where his money is hidden, and Dr. Hines has access to that now. On a serious note, even in times of the trouble, we could put a little smile on our faces, right? We can't let them know that they're getting to us. In fact, it makes us stronger. And so Khadaki Amsterdam was able to send some messages to Dr. David Hines. Khadaki is concerned about you, the people. He wants his show to continue. And he asked Dr. David Hines, somebody probably told him belatedly that Dr. David Hines and I took control of his show so that we can continue to get the message out. So Khadaki Amsterdam is in good spirit. In fact, he's feeling stronger, 10 times stronger. We've got to continue to whatever form of prayers you do or worshiping or whatever, that's your prerogative. But as you go to bed or wherever you're going tonight, say a quiet chant or prayer or whatever for Khadaki Amsterdam. We've got to pray. We've got to pray so that elections come around as soon as possible and that the corrupt, racist PPP regime is voted out of office. Voted out of office. So what else we can continue with? You guys remember this, right? Georgetown mayor, that's now former mayor, Obraj Narain, he's a pandit. And oh gosh, Jack Dave, they have so much to say about this pandit and all manner of things they describe this guy, all because of his political views. But when you go back to what Ramaya allegedly did, allegedly called some other pandit Gilbaka. So it's a crime to call a pandit Gilbaka or anyone Gilbaka, and to say that that pandit was washing his feet with milk, that is why there's a milk shortage. You can't say anything any longer. It's a crime. And so Pandit Obraj was at the Square of the Revolution sometime back in 2022. And he said something probably in solidarity with persons of African descent. And they, in the PPP bumps raised, they didn't like it. And so right away, they went to charge him under the Racial Hostility Act, the cybercrime. And then they went to Sherrod Duncan and they charged Sherrod Duncan as well, because on his show, he called somebody a jagabat. Right? He called somebody a jagabat and a trench crapo. And the person that he called a jagabat and a trench crapo felt hurt that Sherrod Duncan hurt his feelings. Jagabat, trench crapo, cybercrime law. That is what the PPP does. And for those of you now, the Cybercrime Law Official Gazette on the 13th of August, 2018, and Act number 16 of 2018, Cybercrime Act of 2018. And it was sent by David Granger, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Okay, so during that time, this is what, and after that, when these vagabonds were installed into office, when they were installed, this is what this guy, Anil Nandalal, who has a lot of makeup on, lots of makeup, Cybercrime Act to be repealed. That is according to the Attorney General. This is over 2 years now. The Cybercrime Act cannot be repealed. It is still there. And what Anil Nandalal said then, over 2 years now, what Anil Nandalal said then, and let me quote him, it will be a model cybercrime bill for the CARICOM region. That bill will meet modern international standards. It is the United Nations that is setting that example. So nobody can fault us. Where is the example? Where is this modern cybercrime bill? Where is it? Have they repealed it? The answer is no. What they are doing is basically going after individuals who have a political view other than the PPP. That is why That is why they go after. That is why they go after political opponents, to silence them, to shut them up, to set a lesson for them, all manner of things. That is what they do. Miss Booker, yes, he's not eating solid, he's just drinking liquid, and that's it. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Khadaki, stay strong. But look back to this here. Says, this is what Anil Nandalal says. This will be repealed to provide for the modern, updated cybercrime bill, which is currently being worked on at the level of an ad hoc committee established by the United Nations. That is according to Anil Nandalal. Now, the question is, since they had much energy to repeal the cybercrime bill and to make it the bill for the CARICOM region, a model for the CARICOM region, what has happened to that, Anil Nandalal? What has happened to that? Yet another example of the hypocrisy, yet another example of broken promises and all manner of things. So when the PPP talks, you got to run as quickly as possible. And I hope Congressman Jackson is running very fast, because the PPP is just about hypocrisy and brainwashing. And I'm glad I mentioned Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Run as fast as possible. What else about this cybercrime bill that we can talk about? The 2018 cybercrime bill. Back then, Anil, they argued about sedition. They said that the PPP doesn't charge people, according to my understanding, that they do not charge people with sedition and all these sort of things. That is not true. That is not true. Apart from the frivolous and the trumped up treason charge against me, I was also charged with sedition and placed on $1 million bail. Apart from that, Ronald Waddle was charged with, the late Ronald Waddle, who was assassinated under the PPP regime. He was charged with sedition. The late Oliver Hinkson was also charged with sedition. So how the heck can Anil Nandalal or anybody else, my recollection is that he did say something to that effect, but how can any one of these hypocrites in the PPP say that under the PPP regime, no one was charged with sedition? That is not true. Absolutely not. I just gave you 3 examples. Outside of that, what about treason? What about treason? Apart from me again, treason. Yeah, treason and all, sedition, incitement. Well, apart from that, every single time the PPP is in office, they charge people with treason. They don't have to have any reason, but they charge you with treason. They did that with the Monroes. They did that with Carol Ann Monroe, her husband Bruce Monroe, and another member of the Guyana Defense Force, Mr. Wharton. Trumped up treason charges. Put those people in prison for almost a year and a half. Carol Ann Monroe was in solitary confinement. She was shackled and sent to prison. Don't you guys remember these things? So under the PPP regime, that is what they do. I don't know if it's a ritual or something like that, that they survive either on blood. As we know, hundreds of persons were slaughtered under the PPP regime. People were assassinated. Ronald Waddle saw in his, some members of his family, a security guard. Also, Crummy Wing assassinated under the PPP regime. And so people get charged for these heinous crimes under the PPP regime. Trumped up charges, treason under the PPP regime. No evidence, nothing whatsoever. But we recall in the late 1980s, a couple of guys from the Guyana Defense Force and I believe a member of the Guyana Police Force, they were caught, according to the allegations, being trained to use weapons and all these things to overthrow Desmond Hoyt's government. They were caught, according to the allegations. They were caught. Balram Singh, or Balram Prasad, sorry, who is now deceased, he was a senior member, assistant commissioner of police. After he got released when Jagan got into office in 1992, Balram Prasad was released and immediately reinstated into the Guyana police force. When he died a couple of years ago, he died, I believe, as deputy commissioner of police. Balram Prasad. There were others. And so the PPP has a history of rounding up individuals, charging them with sedition, charging them with treason. I've given you the names of individuals charged with treason. I've given you the names of individuals charged with sedition. And it looks as though the PPP, it is a ritual. It's like they take you and they do this ritual stuff with treason and then sedition. And this leads me back now to Khadaki Amsterdam, who is currently in the lockups, the police lockups. Before I get back to Khadaki, I'm just running through some of your comments and run through a couple of your comments, and then I get back to Khadaki Amsterdam now is in the lockups. And if any one of the officers turn up their phone or their television set loud enough, let's just say good night to Khadaki. Or if an officer can whisper and let him know that scores of people are with him, are in solidarity with him, because no crime was committed. Absolutely no crime was committed. And what the PPP regime is doing is they're being vindictive, they're being spiteful in persecuting this brother, all because of his political views. That is what it is all about. And now let's get to this particular crime, allegation of a crime. Now, we don't know, because it is wrong for the police force to issue a tape recording purporting to be that of a crime that was allegedly committed by Mr. Amsterdam. I saw that video clip that the police released, which is a crime. The police should never have done that if they are investigating a matter. And I am not convinced that what the police released is sufficient evidence. There is no evidence that that tape is the actual tape. There is no evidence that that caller called in on Khadaki's show. Nobody knows that. There's no telephone log. There's no number. There's nothing. So how will they prosecute Khadaki Amsterdam as a result of some tape that was possibly spliced, some tape that was edited? We don't know. And so in order for the tape evidence to be accepted in court, it has to be an original copy. They have to have gotten it from the original source. They cannot have what somebody videotaped. Someone allegedly, whoever that someone is, videotaped it and released that copy to the police. Now, how on earth can such a thing, such an evidence be accepted into court as evidence? Which magistrate is going to accept that? Which judge is going to accept that? I don't know. But what I saw was not convincing, because we don't know. Khadaki looked as though he was listening to somebody else, or he was just about to start his program. We don't know. But he has some good defense lawyers with him, Nigel Hughes and Miss Jeffers and Miss Stevens and others on his side. So that videotape that the police force released is hogwash. We don't know whether that came directly. You guys remember when the Bascom situation, when at the police press conference, they were running and they were hiding and they were saying that they didn't do any recording. They had no recording or nothing. Nothing. They didn't. Well, you know why? Because you had to get the original video evidence from the source. In order to present it as evidence in the court, you have to make a convincing argument. And right away, the police force rushed to say, oh, no, 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 we do not have the original tape because we did not record the press conference, an important press conference. They never recorded it. And so there's no evidence. And so you can go to court with some secondhand information. What they are doing here is attempting to take a secondhand or third-hand information that is hogwash and present it as evidence. It just cannot work at all. Just cannot work at all. And so when you take a look at what they presented, one of the things that they did is, and I ask this question again, why would the police, during the course of a quote-unquote investigation, publish the evidence? It is cyberbullying. They are bullying Mr. Khadaki Amsterdam. And somebody should charge the police who released that for cyberbullying. They're trying to bully Mr. Amsterdam. They're trying to drive fear in Mr. Amsterdam, and they're playing politics. The Guyana Police Force, some members of the Guyana Police Force are playing politics. And so they had to possibly had to do what Massa, at office of the president, whoever the Massa or whether they're more than one Massa, told them that they have to do. And so they have done the bidding, apparently they have done the bidding of a corrupt, racist regime. Why didn't they publish the evidence of Sue and what Sue said about Jack Deere? I don't know. So Khadaki Amsterdam is currently in the lockups. Now let's get back to this, what they are planning right now. And this is where it has to be challenged. This is what they're planning. They now have the cybercrime law, and they are currently perusing the offenses against the state. And it says here in 18.1, a person commits an offense if the person, whether in or out of Guyana, intentionally publishes, transmits, or circulates by use of a computer system a statement or works, either spoken or written, a text, video, image, sign, visible representation, or other thing that, now we don't know what other thing that A, advocates the use without authority of law of force as a means of accomplishing a governmental change within Guyana. In other words, anybody who does those sort of things, any of those things or some of those things to advocate for governmental change within Guyana. In other words, anybody advocate for the overthrowing of the government of Guyana. Anyone who advocates for that, they're saying it's an offense against the state. Now, let's go to B and C. B states here, or incites, counsels, urges, induces, aids, or abets any person to commit, participate in the commission of, or to conspire with another person to commit treason under section 34 or 314 or 317 of the Criminal Law Offences Act. And C, encourages, incites, induces, aids, abets, counsels any person to commit or to conspire with another person to commit any criminal offense against the president or any member of the government. Now, take a good look at C. Take a good look at C. It says incites. And could they say that Khadaki, because again, that videotape that the police is circulating, we don't know the authenticity of that videotape at all. They cannot use that as evidence. So right away, they have a weak case. Whatever they want to charge Khadaki with, it's a weak case. There is no evidence against Brother Khadaki Amsterdam. None whatsoever. if there's any lawyer who's watching, can usually, they get that lawyer from Canada. I wonder what he has to say about this. I wonder what he has to say. Can somebody wake him up? What does he have to say about this here now? There is no evidence against Khadaki Amsterdam. And by virtue of that, Khadaki Amsterdam should be free. And when he gets out, Khadaki Amsterdam, through his lawyers, should sue the state for wrongful arrest, wrongful incarceration. Sue the state, because there is no evidence. If you check the books and these sort of things, they are investigating. They are not investigating anything at all. There is nothing there to investigate. They're dilly-dallying with this man and his freedom. They are punishing him. And there's no way that people can vote for a party or a return of any government that use state laws to punish the citizens of the country. Khadaki Amsterdam is being punished. He's being persecuted by a wicked, a racist, and corrupt regime. Wrongful detention, Rastaman. And y'all say Rastaman don't know the law. Look what Rastaman doing to y'all there, right? So we've got to be careful. We've got to watch them. We've got to watch them. We've got to watch them. Watch them, guys. Selwyn Peters, the lawyer, he's on. Somebody woke him up. I knew we were going to. It's like you send out a bait on a hook, and boom, we catch it. Selwyn Peters, what is your take on the allegations leveled against Khadaki Amsterdam, particularly as it pertains to the police? The police releasing what they purport to be evidence, even in the midst of an investigation. They claim that they are investigating this matter, but yet they release what they claim to be evidence. What is your take on that, Mr. Selwyn Peters? You're watching us. Talk. Don't feel afraid that you're going to offend the PPP. Talk. I'm quoting the law, the cybercrime law. It's right there. There's nothing. There's no evidence that Khadaki Amsterdam committed a crime. None whatsoever. We're waiting on you, Mr. Selwyn Peters. Don't run. Don't run. Not tonight. You're not running away. Stay right here and fight your battle legally. We want to hear from you. Let me know when Selwyn Peters respond. Let me know when he responds. Sephiris, how are you doing? Let me know. He's going to run. He's going to run. Run, Sally, run. Run. He won't say nothing. He won't touch it. He can't touch it. He's afraid to touch it because he knows that anybody knows that the PPP is persecuting Khadaki Amsterdam. The PPP is persecuting Khadaki because of his political views and because he is of African descent. That is one. And that's a fact. They can't run away with it. I've noticed Anil Nandalal said, come on, Sally, where are you? Can somebody wake Selwyn Peters up? Suddenly, cat gone with the tongue. And I really do mean it, cat gone with the tongue. He ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all calling Selwyn Peters, let him say something. He can't say anything. He's frightened because he knows that if he says anything, it will have to be in favor of Mr. Khadaki Amsterdam, the political prisoner, because that is what Khadaki Amsterdam is, a political prisoner. And poor Selwyn Peters doesn't want to say anything at all. Cat gone with his mouth. Or his tongue. That's what you say, right? Cat gone with your tongue. Or Gilbaka gone with his tongue. Gone with it. He gone. He get hit for 6 tonight. He cannot say anything. But I noticed that Anil Nandalal said that the fact that, and you see, this is dirty political tactics. especially when they're using the state resources. Anil Nandalal said that the fact that Khadaki remained silent is sufficient. Since when remaining silent is a crime? What law that says if someone, because the law says you have the right to remain silent. And now I'm just pretending that I'm a defense lawyer. Gosh, y'all know me already, right? But since when? So let us assume that fake evidence the police put out there. Let us just assume, for argument's sake, that we're in the midst of a court argument and we're arguing that my client, Khadaki Amsterdam, has not condoned anything. Neither has he supported any allegations of incitement against anybody. He opened his phone lines, persons called in, they voiced their opinions, their views, and they left. Since when silence is a crime? Since when silence is a crime? Somebody tell me. The law says you have a right to remain silent, you have a right to a lawyer, and so forth. Assuming that the police have a genuine tape, I don't know. We can't trust the police these days, especially under the PPP regime. And we don't know whether that's a correct call. We don't know who paid, whether somebody acted in that capacity. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. And so we heard from the criminal lawyer last night, Nigel Hughes, and of course the other two lawyers. We heard from those lawyers. They're involved in this case. And so they're the right person that we got to hear. They are there with these, what is it? The police, they're still investigating, conducting investigations and so forth and so on. And so y'all forget about Selwyn Peters. He had to run. He run. I've never seen him run like this yet. He should change his name to Selwyn Bolt. Like Usain Bolt. Selwyn Bolt, he gone for 6 tonight. Right? They heat too much Selwyn. Selwyn beat out. Anyways, there is absolutely nothing, but yet Anil Nandalal is saying that Khadaki should not have remained silent. So he remained silent, and that's a crime. I'm sure if that tape is accurate, I'm sure that Khadaki Amsterdam would not have agreed, would not condone those sort of things. Because again, we don't know. The PPP is so vicious that they probably paid somebody to pretend as though they call it. We don't know, guys. We don't know. But what I'm saying is we've got to be suspicious. We've got to be suspicious of that tape. All of you, do not jump to conclusions. You don't necessarily have to share the tape on your page and so forth, but it doesn't make sense. Something in adding up. Something in adding up. I don't care whether Selwyn Peter, we are staying here until 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. Selwyn Peter got to crawl out back the hole. He got to come back. He got to. He got to. We ain't going anywhere. We waiting for Selwyn Peters tonight. We waiting for him. You know. And Rastaman seemed to be hitting a lot of things for 6. Rastaman said 3 months after. So all along they had this thing. They been doing nothing. We don't know when it was broadcast. They're saying 2 months ago. They're saying 3 months ago. We don't know when. There's no date. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And they expect us to believe them? Me believe them. Been through all of that crapper. I get old now. I'm retired. I've been there. And look, let me say this to you guys. This is hurtful, what they're doing to Khadaki Amsterdam. A young man who's passionate about his country, about his village, and wants to see change for the betterment. He wants to see changes in the country. And no government, installed or not, should be targeting its citizens in this manner. And it brings back lots of memories. because I know what it's like. And I know this is not about me, but I know what it's like. Oren is asking what happened to Lincoln Lewis. Lincoln Lewis is wrong. What happened to Lincoln, Oren? Just a dry, Yalos, just a dry, Oren? Just a dry? Good night to Lincoln Lewis if he's watching. Just a dry, we talking. What happened to Lincoln? We'll take a break, guys. We got to take a break. We'll take a break.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Boxer, let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body, listen. Body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Body jump, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Hear me sing, so big body jump, wearing tight pants, big body jump.
Just a dry. What happened to Lincoln Lewis? Father, help us. Just a dry. We gapping. What happened to Lincoln Lewis? So these PPP guys, they can't make it. They can't make it. They just can't make it at all. Hey guys, guess what? Guess what? I'll be back tomorrow morning on Khadaki's show. Dr. David Hines and I are going to be there with you guys. We've got to stay strong. All of us, we've got to stay strong. I can just envision what's going through Khadaki's mind right now. Not surrendering, but to return and fight 10 times more for a better Guyana and for a change of government next elections. It has got to happen, guys. Enough is enough. Audrey Brown, we have the tape. We don't want to release a tape that is obviously fake. We know what it is, and we've got to fight this battle smart. We cannot play into the hands of the PPP because the tape is a fake tape put together by the corrupt PPP regime. Hey guys, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Selwyn Peters wants to come on. It's too late. I want Selwyn Peters to answer me. The attorney, Selwyn Peters, answer in the audience. Answer in the audience. I want to get off now. Prepare for tomorrow morning. Selwyn, go in the audience and answer. How many of you guys think that I should have Selwyn Peters on right now or bring him on some other night? Maybe tomorrow night. We bring him on tomorrow night. It's been a long day, a long day, and we have to continue. Selwyn say you want to come on. I gotta go, guys. I got Bogbida and Bogbida Express and not tonight. I know I was going no. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for people at all, guys. Thank you all so much. Continue to pray for Khadaki Amsterdam, and I really have to go. Khadaki's Amsterdam, I think his son is going to, if Khadaki is not out tomorrow, his son is going to run and open his club. Go out and support the brother. Tomorrow morning, Dr. David Hines will talk about how you can support him because at this time he does need the support and whatever little it is. Please, some people have inboxed me about that. Please, inbox Dr. David Hines and tomorrow morning you'll get more information about that. I'm not collecting anything on behalf of anybody. And I say this because I really do mean it. I know you guys want to help the brother out. I hope Selwyn Peters contribute to Dr. David Hines. They have the stuff on Khadaki's page. I hope Selwyn will contribute. But tomorrow morning we'll be on Buxtonian time with Dr. David Hines. But for now, I'm out of here, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go to my second job, babysitting again. Go out tomorrow and support Khadaki's night spot for karaoke. Maybe his son is going to run it if he's not out by tomorrow. God bless you all, and continue to pray for Guyana. It's in the hands of the devils. Yep, in the hands of the devils. Political devils. Gilbaka. Catfish. And people are charged for saying Gilbaka. I'm out of here, guys. But we finally realized that Selwyn Peters is weak. He couldn't stand up and argue in the audience. He's weak. Selwyn, you lost the battle tonight. Have a good night, all of you. Until tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for that. But if I could have a point of privilege, this is a family dialogue. If one person wants to talk longer, I am available to listen. So we're going to do this like we're sitting in the kitchen. I want to hear from you. I want to know the challenges. And so I'm not here representing your government. I'm here as a representative from my district, or the 1st District of Illinois, and I want to hear from you. And I hope you would be as candid as you can. Some people are going to take longer because they have more to say, and I appreciate that. So in that spirit, I thank you.
Yes, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.